Welcome back to the third episode of Aligned Identity. Today, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking a little bit about our fitness goals and things we can do to reach those goals, how to structure them, what they are, and I'm going to lead you guys with some experience that I've had and some understanding and some knowledge that I've gained along the way. So buckle up and let's get into it. So for me, I was always somewhat of a athletic kid growing up. I was not the best at every sport I ever played. Do not get me wrong. In basketball, I typically played just because it was a sport and I somewhat did okay, but I was not good by any means. Baseball, I always played growing up. I took a couple years off here and there, but in high school, I played every single year, and I loved it. I loved the team, that kind of stuff. But football was always my main focus. And with football comes weight training, and it was really important to try to build up your muscles, try to be as strong as you could be. A lot of the workouts and things requires just brute strength, just plain and simple. My workout plan, my freshman year, was the first time that I'd ever been in the weight room and required to be in the weight room. And this was at a bigger school. It was a Class A school, I believe. And I was brand new to that school, but a lot of good friends, a lot of good people on that team. They made me feel welcome right away, and I had an absolute great year. But the point that I'm getting at is it was the first time I'd ever been required and shown the weight room. Now, that was a bit of a enlightening moment because I've always thought I was strong, but the weight room kind of doesn't lie to you. Being a freshman in high school, you're about 13, 14, 15, whatever. I was quickly shown that I'm not the strongest kid in my grade at all. And it was a humbling experience, but also it was very enlightening because I had never moved weights around. I've never been shown the weight room, anything like that. And what we were doing was circuits. So we would just do a minute at each different section. And it was all full body. It was required by our coaches to have to do this. And they kind of ran it, made sure everybody was being safe and things like that. So you got to learn a lot of different exercises. You got to learn a lot of different things. And it was cool to be able to be in there. It was like a team bonding thing. But quite honestly, I wasn't like in love with it. I almost felt like it was just extra. After a long practice, we'd have to go in the weight room, and it was not something I truly enjoyed. And so I never looked forward to ever continuing that. And when I got to my school in Michigan, which was a Class D school, much smaller, our coaches did not lead us in any weight room activity. I was grateful for that. Maybe a bit lazy. And I think it would have really benefited all of us to have taken it more seriously. And I wish a coach or an adult would have explained to us that this is an important time to start building muscle and to start understanding that weight training has a lot of health benefits, has a lot of obviously physical differences, and it would really had helped create a brighter future for my fitness journey, because after high school, like many people, I stopped being as active. You go into work, you pick up other other hobbies and things, but for me, being active again wasn't one of those things that stuck out. I would play basketball from time to time just to get out and do things, but for the most part, I was probably stationary for most of the day playing video games and then going to work, video games, repeat. And quite honestly, guys, I feel like that was something that was haunting me for years. And I loved playing with my friends and stuff like that. I think that's important, but a lot of us need to realign ourselves. You know, it's okay to have gone away from a certain path, but it's important to realize that you need to start focusing on the person that you want to be, because if you don't, you're never going to be the person that you want to be. It's clearly as plain as day as that. And for me, in March 10th of 2023, I am 25 years old. I had started getting my finances in order. I was watching my diet. I had probably changed my diet for about 9 months. So, since like May of 2022, I really started focusing on my diet and dialing that in. And that was the first thing I wanted to focus on, because I realized I was just eating out all the time and not being a healthy individual. But I was terrified of the gym. I had a gym membership at the gym I have now, and I've had a gym membership ever since I left high school, but I never went, obviously. But when I came to our new house, I got a local gym membership, and I intended on using it. And I remember constantly wanting to come to the gym, but not feeling worthy, because I wasn't in shape. I was not fully aware of how I wanted to work out. I didn't want to embarrass myself. I didn't think that I was capable of it, quite honestly. And I had that kind of mindset throughout most of my adult life, I would say, just because I let myself kind of go after school. And that's a normal thing to let happen, I guess. When I look at some of my friends, they also did similar things. And some of us did a great job of staying in the gym and staying focused, but others of us did not. And I think it's important that last year I really focused that when I turn 25 years old, I want to be the man I wanted to be. I wanted to at least start putting the practices in place to be the man that I could look in the mirror and be like, you're working hard, like you're doing your thing. And for other people that may not be going to the gym, but at least at a bare minimum, it has to be taking care of your health. But for my heart, I knew that I wanted to get back into good physical shape and take care of myself. So again, March 10th, 2022, I actually went to the gym for the first time in years. And if I told you that I wasn't out in the parking lot absolutely having an anxious panic attack, I'd be lying to you. Because all of those fears that I talked about earlier, all those like preconceived notions that like I was unworthy, that I wasn't capable, that I wasn't allowed there. I wasn't one of those people who went to the gym. I wasn't one of those good-looking buff guys. I was never the man I wanted to be, right? And it felt so far out of in the distance. And I didn't want to feel like a fool going in there and not knowing how to work machines or not knowing how to do certain exercises. And I'm sitting in my car, and I remember thinking, I owe it to myself to be happy and fulfill the things that I want to fulfill in my life. And if it takes a little bit of embarrassment for entry into something that I know will bring me happiness and align with who I want to be, then here I go. I will be the most embarrassed person in there, but I know at least I'm working towards what I want to do in my life. And a lot of us have a hard time getting into that mindset. A lot of us are scared to try different avenues, scared to try new things because in the beginning you're not going to be good. But that's okay, because being uncomfortable is also you developing and you building resistance to that. Over time, you're going to slowly see that feeling of embarrassment fade away as you continually do these things. And so I walk into the gym, and I remember like almost shaking, like not making eye contact with anyone, because it just, you work up this mindset that like everyone's out to get you there, and like everybody's judging you, everybody cares about you, everybody is like thinking about you, right? That, oh, who's this new person? They look stupid, they look this. All these like terrible thoughts that no one is thinking this, by the way, but you just work this mind up that something terrible is happening. And it's just an uncomfortable environment. And I like get to the locker room. I like pick the quickest locker, and I was smart. This is something that we'll talk about later, but I did buy a lock because I knew if I was going to bring in a backpack, I didn't want to just leave it. I didn't want to give myself an excuse to not like bring my backpack, change clothes, and not have a lock and then leave early or something like that, or just walk out. Because I'd be sometimes in years prior, I would have the motivation to go to the gym, and then when I got to the gym, I would literally be in my car and drive off. I would literally drive to the gym, park, and work myself up of not going into the gym. And that's the level of anxiety I had about it. And one of the reasons why I left the gym was because I was like, oh man, what if someone steals my things out of my locker because I don't have a lock? So I left. And so I knew this time going into it, I was like, all right, dude, you got your lock. That's not an excuse, right? And I defeated that little voice in my head saying, oh, it's unsafe or something. And so I locked up my bag, and I look out, and you see what you think are just the pinnacle of people in society, and you're not welcome. It's a cool boys and girls club that you're just not invited to. And so I went upstairs, and I went onto the workout bike. And I remember getting there, and I finally like got on some music, and I was like, just be here for 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes and out. You owe it to yourself, Zach, to just go ahead, go 20 minutes at the gym. And you've been to the gym, all right? And let's start building this consistently. That was my mindset, that if I could at least do 20 minutes in the gym, then I'm going to the gym consistently. I wanted to do that whole week and forever, the rest of my life, just 20 minutes. That was my mindset. I was like, if I can just get in here for 20 minutes, I'll feel a little more comfortable every single day. And I'll be doing something towards my goal and being healthy. And lo and behold, I got through those 20 minutes, and I left, and I felt accomplished. I remember texting my wife and explaining to her how happy I was, because I had drove away just months prior because I was so anxious and so scared of the outcome. And here I was basking in the glory of just going 20 minutes at the gym on an exercise bike. So you're not alone. I want you to know that. I want you to hear my story and the things I went through and understand that you're not alone in your anxieties. It may not be as intense as mine were, and I'm happy for you if they're not, but even if they're more intense than the issues that I struggle with when I first started going, you owe it to yourself to start taking care of your body. You owe it to the people you love to start taking care of yourself, because they're the ones who want you around the most. And the mental benefits that you get from the gym are incomparable. Every day you work hard, you beat yourself up, but it's all for growth. It's all for a grander goal than that day. And something about building up that momentum every single day, it becomes addicting, and it becomes a lifestyle, and then it becomes fuel every single day. I know after I finish every day at the gym that I have the strength to get through that day, because I've already been through so much. In the very first thing of my day, I go to the gym and I work my ass off. And so if I took the rest of the day off, I would not even be mad. I was talking to my wife earlier, and that's something that she said that has been really relieving. She used to feel bad about not doing something in a day. After you go to the gym and you've really worked, you're tired, you're beat, you're probably sore. You know, those are signs that like you are improving yourself, and that's so important to our health, to know that we are improving, because that's part of the will to live. You want to keep getting better. You want to keep growing. You want to keep becoming a better person in all aspects of your life. And being strong physically also helps build your mental strength by going through the hard sets, by going through difficult times, going through some sore situations, you know. So I encourage you to really reach into your bag and think about, like, what are some things I want to accomplish? And I would love for you to focus on your health goals this year, because I haven't even been training for an entire year, guys. And my life has never had so much optimism on my outlook of life. I feel like I'm becoming the person that I've always wanted to be. Without going to the gym, honestly, I never make this podcast, because I don't have the confidence within myself to do it. I don't get over that initial hurdle of all the embarrassment I would feel at the gym. Once I conquered that, it's like you can start building up other things. And maybe your big mountain that you need to climb in your life isn't just the gym. Maybe it's something else. But I think I speak to a lot of people who feel like they should be taking care of themselves. And they know that the gym is good for them. And they know that their health is important. And they've been neglecting that. So let's get it together. Let's reach in deep and start understanding why we're not doing the things we want to be doing. And really listen to that. Why are you not doing the thing that you've been wanting to do? Is it embarrassment? Is it not feasible? What are the reasons? I would implore you to write down the reasons why you can't do the thing you want to do. And after you write them down, really think about it. Are those really stopping me from accomplishing what I want? And more than likely, you might be able to cross off a couple. And there may be just one thing. We have to get through our embarrassment or our nervousness, and understand starting something new or not being good at something is important for us to progress, because we're never going to get better at things unless we don't start. You have to start somewhere, and starting somewhere is the beginning to your happiness. I kid you not. So for this episode, we're going to be focusing on starting a foundation at the gym. I know you may have other goals. I don't know you personally, but for me, I think the gym is very important. Or being healthy and fitness is important to your overall health, because it will build that physical and mental strength. So, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, you have to understand why you want to go to the gym. Obviously, I think you would be a liar if you didn't want some sort of physical appearance, whether it's skinnier, whether it's bigger, stronger, whether it's certain features, bigger butt, who knows, you know? I think we'd all be lying if there wasn't some vanity that would come along with the gym. But most importantly, like I was explaining, I think it's important to realize what more than physical does the gym bring. And for me, I knew, because I've really cared about sports and have always been physical my entire life, that I've been lacking a part of myself. And I've been lacking in confidence ever since I stopped playing sports. And I knew that if I started working out and started being in the gym again, that I would reignite that light. And it sure did it for me. And even if you may have not been a athlete growing up, there's something about doing hard things and building on top of that. It will give you sort of completion after every single session. I feel that every time after a gym session, when you really work hard, and everyone has done something physically demanding, and afterwards you're like, damn, I'm happy I did that, or like, I accomplished that today. That was hard. And you could get that every single day and know that you're building yourself up every single day. There was a saying that I brought up in like the first episode, but could you imagine getting 1% better every single day? After 100 days, you're 100% better than you were. That's the kind of mindset that we should try to focus on. Is that, your first day in the gym, you may not feel skinnier. You may not feel stronger. You might not feel the greatest. But what will feel good is knowing that you have completed something hard. For me, it was getting over the obstacle of anxiety. That was what I felt after my first day at the gym. I didn't feel anything physical. I didn't feel anything like, oh, I'm going to look better after this. I felt I got over that emotional roller coaster that I put myself through, and that I'm being who I want to be. So, dig deep and understand why you want to be a healthy individual. Maybe it's for your kids. Maybe you know that it's important for you and your family. You want your kids to grow up and be healthy, and you want to be a good example for them. That's a great reason. Only you know why you need to care about your health. And I tell you what, there are some cool perks of having confidence after you put in months and months and months of work. When you look in the mirror and you realize that you really are starting to look different. When you can recomp your body, you do get a gain of confidence, and you start to kind of feel like yourself. And that's coming from a guy who firsthand experience of feeling way more confident after I've worked hard every single day for the past 10 months, because I started on March 10th of 2023 and I haven't stopped since. So now that we've got to the point of understanding why it's important to go to the gym, mental, physical, and your own personal goals, we need to start talking about structuring your first workout. Okay. I want you to do whatever you're comfortable with. Anything you are comfortable with. Let's go. I don't care if you want to ride a bike for 5 minutes, kind of like myself. If there's a time that you just want to be there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you want to go a whole hour at the gym, do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Obviously, the treadmills and cardio things, very simple. You cannot mess it up. And if that helps you get more comfortable just being around that environment, then please do that. And please do that consistently. Okay? That's going to be part of the main goal, is like pick a goal. If you can do 20 minutes at the gym every day, do it. Just do it. 20 minutes, that's not a big commitment of time, and you will slowly feel that you're pulling back the layers of feeling more and more comfortable at the gym. Now, if you're someone who's already feeling very comfortable with themselves and you don't think the anxiety or anything like that is going to bother you, then aim bigger. All right? You can get right in there and start lifting weights with anyone. All right? We're going to go over like how to completely program that later. But I want people to do what they're comfortable with. And do a little bit of research, see what's going on, see like some machines that they may have, you obviously have a membership there, so you can, when you like look around, or if you want to pick out a gym, they will guide you around the gym and you can kind of see where things are, have an idea of what you're getting into. And it's important to have those things in mind, especially if you're the kind of person to make excuses in your head of why you can't do something. Like, no, they do have a treadmill, they do have a stair stepper, they do have these things. And you can really plan around that for your first visits, your first week, your second week, third week. I would really advise to take it as slow as you want to, and also as fast as you want to. Don't feel that you can overstep in the gym. If you want to try lifting weights, free weights, go to it. For me, I was someone who started on the bike, right, for a week. For 20 minutes, I started on the bike. And then I started going in a little earlier, and I would get there at 5 a.m. when they open. And I slowly started. So the app that I started using when I first went to the gym was called Strong. It's in the App Store. It's free. And what it is it's kind of like a planner of your workout. And so you kind of can program it before you even go, and you know exactly what you're going to do. And also in there, it has all your categories labeled. So if you want to do a chest day and you don't know what exercises are for chest, they have a whole list of chest exercises that you can pick from. So you can be like, all right, this is going to be my chest day. Here's 4 exercises of chest, and do all those. And a lot of the times they have all of the machines that are listed on there. Some of them are even like just push-ups or things along those lines that you can do by yourself and without any weights, anything like that. Same for legs, all the groups that you want to work. That app has it right there, and it will show you how to do the exercise. So if you feel uncomfortable with the exercise, like you can look at that and reference it, and it will show you exactly how to do it. So you have the confidence to do it in the gym and not feel like you're going to embarrass yourself. And that is not a paid ad. That is just exactly what I did, because some of the exercises I see like on YouTube and things like that, I didn't know how to really perform them in real life. Like you can see someone do it, but that app Strong actually broke it down and kind of showed me what machines to use, and also reassured me which group I'm working. And so like if you're doing an exercise and you don't know what you're working, it's a bit terrifying, right? Like If you're like, oh yeah, I had an arm day, but I've been doing lat pull downs, you're kind of like, oh man, but that's a back exercise. You know what I mean? So that will help give you some clarity. And also just watching YouTube videos, a lot of people have the certain workouts that you may be looking for. There's some glute exercises, there's some back exercises, there's chest exercises, arm exercises, everything. Okay. YouTube is a great resource for all of these things. I'll leave links to certain podcasts and things like that about structuring like a good workout schedule. And I guess that's a good segue for what we should talk about next, and that's assembling that workout schedule. I will give you an idea of mine. So first day is arms. That's going to be my delts, and my biceps. And I'm going to do a ton of different exercises. I do have variation in what I do, but I'll do that on the first day. And I'll do 4 to 6 different exercises. And I'll do those exercises for 4 sets of 10 or more to failure. And it kind of depends on what exercise I'm doing, if I'm going to take it to failure just to be safe, or if I'm on machines, I typically go to failure because I don't really have the opportunity to hurt myself. So that's why I do that. If I'm doing free weights, you want to be a little careful when you're going to failure without a partner who can spot you. So just be mindful. But that's kind of what I do. So 4 to 6 exercises of 4 sets of 10 or more. And that's not like my max weight, by the way. You'll understand if you can do some research into the thing that you want to do. You're never going to like try to max your weight out and try to do 10 reps of it. You're going to do about maybe 85 to 75% of your max. And you're going to try to wrap those out as much as you can with those 10 sets. And that's going to initiate hypertrophy, because what you really want to do is exhaust the muscle, right? That's our whole intention here of building muscle, is to exhaust and break down that muscle. If you're looking for something more strength-based, then you're going to be more in the probably 90% of your max and trying to rep it 3 to 6 times. Like power lifters, if it's like a joke that like they take 3 reps and then they take like an hour-long break afterwards, and it's because they're just trying to build up their strength. They're not caring about exhausting the muscle as much. They just want to keep getting stronger. And that's the thing that you may want to pursue as well. So to get back to my point, my second day is going to be chest. And so on a chest day, I'm going to be utilizing my my pecs, essentially. So that's bench press, that's inclines, that's overhead press, that's you name it. There's a ton of exercises that you can do for your chest, dips. But those are some of the things that I utilize. But again, just like with arms, I kind of rotate things out. With both arms and chest, you're going to put strain on your triceps. So I don't have a dedicated I guess triceps would be along with the arm day. That is something I do, tricep extensions, things like that. But on chest, on arm day, I don't fully exhaust my triceps because I'm going to need them throughout the week. So they're getting used when I do chest days on those dips. When you do dips, that's going to work your chest and your triceps. Your tricep is the back of your arm. That's that muscle, bicep, tricep. And so essentially, you can program your things however you want, but that's just to clear up anyone who's like, do you ever work your triceps? Yes, I do. But I get a little bit of it on my arm day, and I get a little bit of it on my chest day and back day, but that's coming up. So third day, I do legs I do abs. And then the last day, I do back and buys. You want to try to work muscle groups multiple times during the week. And the reason I do buys twice, because essentially I'd be doing everything, all these exercises twice a week. It's 4 times, but you get 4 days off between your next. So if I do leg day on a Monday, I'm also going to do it on Thursday. So I'm doing it twice that week. But the reason I do buys is because you get to decide what muscle groups you focus on. If you want to have a big booty, you might want to be working glutes, so you're going to include more glute workouts and give yourself a couple days of rest, but you're going to include them again later. For me, I want my biceps to be bigger, and so I'm giving them more stress throughout the week compared to a full 3-day rest. I want them to have a 2-day rest or something close to those lines. Because arm day, obviously I'm working my biceps, and then chest day, you really don't engage your biceps, and same for legs. So on my back day, I gave it 2 days off instead of giving it 3 the next time it comes back around for arm day. So that's kind of something that you get to engineer and decide how you want to manage your workout schedule. Focus on certain muscle groups because you know your body. And also, the goals that you want to accomplish. What are some things that you want to focus on? Is it your abs? Is it your arms? Is it your legs? What is it? You only know that. And that's some freedom that you get with working out and deciding your program is deciding what muscle groups you want to start working on the most. So that's my current schedule. So I have 4 different rotations of workouts. There are plenty of resources out there to get into a certain program that works for you. You can kind of do something like I did where I came across mine organically and just used the idea of 4 to 6 exercises, 10 or more reps to try to insinuate muscle hypertrophy, which just is growing muscle. But you can do your schedule however you want. Some people just do push-pull legs. Some people just do upper body and lower body days. Those are or full body workouts. That is for you to decide. And I can only give you so many. I can only give you so much information. But you know your body better than I do. And I think doing some research into the subject is important because it also puts your mind at work. And it also is something that you own. When your body looks how you want it to, you got to decide your workouts. You did the research to make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's important. And you also want to be doing something you understand. If you're doing something just someone told you to do, you may not fully understand it and you may not feel that it's yours. And I think taking ownership of what you do is important, and having full understanding of what you want to do is crucial to your identity. So, yeah, figure out your workout plan. I'll drop a couple things down in the description of some resources that I follow. That podcast with Andrew Huberman and Andy Galpin. There's a 6-part series, and he goes through a ton of stuff, and that's kind of how I form my workouts. And then AthleanX is a great resource. It's a good YouTuber. And I'll drop some more in the comments. But, all right. So after we talked about the reason why you want to go to the gym, understanding your foundations of that, creating your workout schedule, now I want to kind of talk about something that I use but is not necessary when I started. and is something that does give benefit, but it is not necessary to start going to the gym. And that is supplements. I think supplements are a useful tool. I think for me personally, I really enjoy them because they help me meet some of my goals. I use whey protein, I use creatine, and I use a pre-workout when I work out. To give you a little bit of background of my diet, I want to accomplish getting 200 grams of protein every day. Every day I want at least 200 grams of protein because I weigh 190 to 195 to 185. I wobble back and forth. But I want to make sure that I'm at least getting 1 gram of protein for my body weight. And the reason for that is because when my body wants to build muscle, it needs to be pulling protein to be able to do that. And I want to be able to have the richest amount of protein I have in my body so it can rightfully use that. And if you're not intaking enough protein, you're not going to see the amount of gains that you're working for. But when you're starting out, you're going to have something called newbie gains. And that is something that when you're not active and when you're not used to lifting these weights, your muscles are going to go crazy. They're going to be like, oh man, we're burning calories. We are lifting weight. Your body is going to respond to the actions that you're taking. And I think that's really cool when you're starting. I'm saying like 3 months, you'll be really impressed at the kind of changes your body has made. And even maybe some of your, from when you started, like the weights that you started with to the weights that you are at now. And so I think still getting protein in is extremely important and will definitely help you. But again, it's not a requirement. And I just want you to be able to make the decision that you want to. And the reason why I use whey protein is because I want to reach my protein threshold. And that's the only reason why. So this is what I currently use. And because I have a huge grass-fed meat and grass-fed products in general, I think it's more natural. I think it's more healthy and a little more unprocessed is the best term I'll like describe it. I've not done a food podcast, but I could go on and on about decisions like this. You don't have to get a grass-fed whey protein. This one is a bit pricey because it is. I use Transparent Labs because they list all of their ingredients and it all makes sense and you can Google every single one of them. And yeah, this one literally just has grass-fed whey protein isolate, natural flavor, stevia, and sodium chloride. So all those make sense to me. But the reason I chose that one in particular is because it's grass-fed and in my price range. The other thing that I spoke about is creatine. So creatine, you can buy, it does not have to be this one. This one just happens to be BPN, which is Bare Performance Nutrition. And I really enjoy Nick Bare, and I wanted to support him and his company. So that's why I selected this one. You're going to be able to pick relatively any creatine monohydrate product you want. Just make sure it has creatine monohydrate in its ingredients, please. And a lot of people just take 5 milligrams, and that's perfectly fine. That for someone starting out, I would recommend it, and it helps you gain strength. It helps you retain water in your muscles, I believe. And then it's one of the most studied supplements ever. And it's absolutely healthy for you. There is no problems with it. So you'll feel fine ingesting it. Please do your research just to make sure that it aligns with what you want to do. But I would say anyone who supplements definitely has creatine in their stack. So the last thing that I was going to talk about is pre-workout. So these are the only 3 things I take daily. I do eat overnight oats right now before I go to the gym. And that's like protein, but it's also carbs that will help fuel my exercise. And I, again, do transparent labs. And this one is a bit more important to me, that I be able to see everything in it. And understand what's in it. Because this is not an absolute must for working out. This is completely extra, and this is just an extra boost of energy for me when I go to the gym. I will say that I really enjoy it from a personal standpoint, but it is also 200 milligrams of caffeine in the very first part of your day, which is probably like an Americano. It does make you feel like kind of blush, like you feel like not blood rushing to your head, but you feel like blood circulating. It's a very weird feeling, but it has a lot of things in it to help you focus, but it also pumps you full of that caffeine too. And this has only 1 gram of carbs, which is not going to do anything for you in terms of fueling your exercise. So it's really just there to give you vitamins and to supplement some of the things to help you focus and give you energy to get through your workout. Please, when it comes to supplements, understand that you do not need supplements to see progress in the gym. This is completely extra, and this is not necessary, okay? You make your own decisions, and please do your own research when supplementing, because some things are not healthy for you. And please try to reach a natural peak before you would ever consider taking anything along the lines of steroids, because those can do long-term damage to you. I know, to the people just starting, you're not even remotely thinking like that, but I just think that it's important to first start and get used to the gym before you really start to care about your supplements. And after you're consistent and you're starting to see some gains, I think it's important to do your research and see what could help you progress even more. And that's why I take supplements, because I think that they will help me progress even more. And it's all about adding more gains. If I'm going to work really hard, I want to make sure that I'm getting the ultimate gains I can. That's why I make sure I get my protein in. That's why I take my creatine. And the pre-workout just helps me get ready for the gym, and it helps me have enough energy to fuel my workout. So guys, the most important thing here is to just get in there. Overcome some of those fears. Whatever insecurities you may have, understand everyone else at the gym had to start one day. Everyone else had to be a new person to be there. I had to start. You will have to start. But I believe in you, and I believe if that's really something you want, then you owe it to yourself to accomplish that, just as I have. And staying consistent through all things is going to lead to success. And nothing more important than staying consistent in the gym. I think you're not going to see gains unless you stay consistent. You can go in for 2 weeks, but it's not like you can take another 2 weeks off before you go again. That's not how the gym works. Because in those 2 weeks, you could regress a little, and it's all about staying consistent and building consistent habits. And that's how you see progress, by being consistent at it. You're not going to go to the gym on the first day and be like, this is the best. I'm seeing progress, right? We have to change our mind to think months, years in the future and understand that what we're doing is all in the greater good for the person I will become. And when I tell you what, when you start becoming the person that you want to be, it's very fulfilling. I was not the person that I wanted to be. And last year really changed my life. And I really want people to be able to take away the fact that you are capable, you are worthy, and that it just starts with today, making steps today to be better tomorrow. And if you have that mindset, we can accomplish anything that you set your mind out to. I promise you. If you really have the mindset of today, I'm just going to do this thing better. Tomorrow, I'm going to do this thing better. I'm going to get a little better at one thing. I'm going to overcome this little fear today. I'm going to get over this a little more the next day. You're going to be able to pursue whatever you want. And you're going to have the confidence to know that you can accomplish anything that you really set your mind to. And I'll go back to it. Why aren't you accomplishing what you want? Dig deep, really think about it, and let's start knocking those things down one by one. All right. I really appreciate all of you guys, especially if you've made it this long. I really do appreciate it. I want to see success in all of you, and I really appreciate all the support from you guys. You guys keep me going, and I hope I can keep the content rolling. And I really appreciate, again, all the support and all the likes on all the pages. Every video that gets a like helping me a ton, and I want to grow without you guys. So I really appreciate it, and I hope you were able to learn some things and feel motivated from this episode. But with that, I appreciate you all. Align yourself with who you want to be. All right. Have a good one, guys.